candidates that they're champions of bipartisanship.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Thanks for making KRTV a part of your evening. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Hallie Schwinnard. First tonight, an urgent message from Padre County Emergency Services. Take note for those headed to or those from the Conrad area. Highway 15 northbound into Conrad is closed right now. A semi-truck has rolled over. Crews expect the highway will be closed for 24 hours. At this point, no word on injuries.
Speaking of closures, the Great Falls Public Library is closed after officials confirmed a positive COVID-19 case at the facility. The library will reopen to the public Tuesday, October 20th. A press release says Cascade City County Health Department officials are contact tracing. Staff will still be available by phone and email to place holds or resolve issues with their library accounts. The library had been open to the public with reduced hours since May 19th. We have more details on our website. School districts around the state continue to struggle with COVID-19 cases to varying degrees of success. One district of note, Lewistown Public Schools. They're in remote learning through Wednesday, but Superintendent Tom Peck says they currently only have 4 confirmed active cases. What's causing them problems is staffing. There are only 4 positive cases, but the district has over 80 people in quarantine. Peck says they have also lost some substitute teachers due to health concerns.
You might have a staff member that a child was placed in quarantine, so then they have to stay home to take care of their child. And what sort of happened with it was we didn't have enough substitutes to really do a good job in in-person instruction.
Coming up tonight at 10, our Matt Holzaffel will have an update on COVID-19 in Lewistown Public Schools, Great Falls Public Schools, and in the Havre Public Schools, where officials say there are more than 160 people in quarantine throughout the district.
Well, high winds are pushing fire lines on the Yogo fire. Fire activity increased late Sunday afternoon. It's now burned roughly 4,500 acres, and there are now 181 personnel working on this fire. These winds not helping crews. Some rain or snow could help, though. Meteorologist Grant Garland joins us. Grant, any in the forecast?
Well, I don't want to be the first one to say snow, but we are looking at a few chances this coming week. We're going to talk about that with our 7-day forecast. We are looking at, though, a couple of warnings out and about right now. High wind watch until Wednesday at 9 a.m. due to the fact that we're going to be looking at possibly 30 to 50 mile per hour winds at given times. Also, a high wind warning is in effect, but that should be lifted here in the next 30 minutes. When we take a look at our peak wind gusts, we're seeing tropical storm force winds, which are over 39 miles an hour for several folks in our location. 48 in Lewistown, 49 in Great Falls, as well as Helena, down towards Butte, just at 39. 59, though, mile per hour winds in Billings. Right now, sustained 25 in both Bozeman, Lewistown, 20 in Great Falls, and 24 in Helena. Temperatures 49 degrees in Great Falls, 57 in Helena, and 49 in Havre. And we are looking at a few little mountain snow showers, but everything should start tapering off as we head throughout the rest of the night. By 9 p.m., 45 degrees. And we're going to talk about more and the chance for some snow in a couple minutes, but for now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Grant. In Montana's high-profile U.S. Senate race, Republican Steve Daines and Democrat Steve Bullock aren't shy about pointing out their differences, but both men are also touting their ability to work together with members of the opposite party. Tonight, MTN's Mike Dennison takes a closer look at the claims by Daines and Bullock that they are champions of bipartisanship.
If you listen to Governor Steve Bullock's campaign pitch, it won't be long before you hear something like this.
Well, Montana voters have seen how I've actually brought people together to get things done, and that's Democrats and Republicans.
Bullock can make this claim because while he's been governor, Republicans have controlled the legislature, so he has to work with some of them to pass a budget or other big items. For example, he enacted and renewed Medicaid expansion, which brought health coverage to 90,000 low-income Montanans. Also, a landmark law forcing more disclosure of campaign spending in Montana, and a major infrastructure bill passed last year. Yet Senator Daines makes a very similar claim in his standard campaign rhetoric.
Well, I'm grateful that I've been recognized as one of the most bipartisan, most effective senators.
He too can back this up with many victories. Passage of a major land and water conservation bill this year, adding acreage in the Bob Marshall Wilderness, and getting benefits for Vietnam vets injured by Agent Orange while in the Navy.
If you just want to get a press release, you go off and do something by yourself. If you want to get an outcome, you've got to work. You've got to find somebody on the other side of the aisle to join you.
The two candidates must see this as a winning message. because they're trying to tear down the other guy's bipartisan credentials. Bullock says another measure of bipartisanship is standing up to your own party, which he says Daines rarely does.
Bipartisanship is more than signing on to a bill with a co-sponsor that's going to go nowhere. 95% of the time, he's voted with Mitch McConnell. 100% of my accomplishments have been bipartisan.
According to the website 538, Daines has supported President Trump on 86% of key votes during Daines' career, but that's one of the lowest agreement rates among GOP senators. Daines also takes this swipe at Governor Bullock on the allocation of federal COVID-19 relief money this year.
Ask the Speaker of the House, Republican. Ask the President of the Senate, a Republican, if Steve Bullock ever once reached out to them to talk about how should we come together in a bipartisan way to spend $1.25 billion. The answer is zero, never reached out.
That's true, although as governor, Bullock has seldom worked with Republican leadership at the legislature. Instead, he works with a more moderate bloc of legislative Republicans to get things passed. So both men can make plausible claims to bipartisanship. Does that matter in these hyper-partisan times? It might, to voters in the middle, who may decide this race. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Over the weekend, Bullock and Daines faced off in their final televised debate before the election, and you can watch it on our website, KRTV.com.
Coming up, see how NeighborWorks Montana is helping families become property owners. Stay with us.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Residents at one local mobile home park now have a little more control over their future, thanks to NeighborWorks Montana. MTN's Coulter Anstadt tells us what residents are doing and how it's already paying off.
The wind was gusting at Pleasant Park Mobile Home Court Monday. Call it the wind of change. The park is now one of 3 in Great Falls no longer owned by an investor. Instead, it's resident-owned.
Residents have the ability then to basically stabilize and keep the lot rents that they have, keep the affordability, have the chance to really have pride in ownership.
NeighborWorks Montana and Rock USA purchased the park from the previous owner when the owner put it up for sale. NeighborWorks announced the resident ownership Monday. Residents will use their lot rent to pay off the purchase, so they'll eventually own the land outright, something NeighborWorks Montana says is increasingly important.
The trend that we've seen specifically this summer is homes and communities being bought and purchased by out-of-state folks sight unseen, which drives the median home price, median value up astronomically.
The president of what is essentially now Pleasant Park's Homeowners Association says this happened with 2 parks in Great Falls.
It was very concerning. It became the driving force to work with NeighborWorks and Rock.
The pride in ownership, he says, is already being realized.
One thing that we're doing right now is working with an engineer to restructure the entry.
We're really hoping that, people will realize that there needs to be homes that Montanans can afford.
In Great Falls, Coulter Anstadt, MTN News.
To learn more about the program, click on the link in this story on our website.
Well, a failing bridge didn't bode well for one of the Great Falls Rotary Club's hallmark initiatives, but that didn't deter the club from raising money and rebuilding the conduit to the camp that has become an integral part of thousands of lives across Montana. Members of the Great Falls Rotary Club gathered Saturday to mark the dedication of the camp's new bridge. About a year and a half ago, the bridge was derated from a 23-ton limit to 3 tons, impacting the ability to accommodate campers as usual and hampering emergency services to the camp. The club immediately sprang into action, working with others with an interest in the camp, including the Forest Service, which leases the camp land to the club.
The Forest Service was really great. They were proactive on hiring an engineer. We paid for the engineering services from the Rotary Clubs because of the funding constraints they were under. And then everyone got together and gathered enough money together to pay for the bridge. And it was just a team effort on that.
Early estimates for replacing the 110-year-old bridge were over $1 million, but some of the original work was so well done the price tag came in considerably less.
Whoever poured the 2 slabs for the main foundation on either side of the creek did great concrete work, because our folks, engineers, were coring it, checking it, making sure if we're going to have to tear it out and start over again, which would have quadrupled the price.
In a typical year, the camp usually serves about 1,000 campers. Last year, camp numbers were down because of the bridge's reduced load limit. This year, COVID-19 closed down the camp altogether. Organizers expect 2021 to be as busy as ever for the camp.
Because so many people were not able to get married this last year, maybe they postponed it until next year. So the calendar's filling up quickly, and all of our youth camps have been contacted about coming back.
Now, money for the project was raised through grants and donations. The bridge project cost over $200,000.
Well, temperatures tonight dropping down into the 30s. Some locations freezing, like in Havre and Hayes, in the 30s. Don't go away. Your 7-day forecast is coming up next.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Grant Garland.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you've had a great start to your work week. Today's highs were right around average for us here in the Electric City at 61 degrees. A little bit cooler in Helena at 60, 64 in Bozeman, down towards the Billings area, 67 degrees, and 54 in Havre. Still waiting to get those official numbers for our friends in Jordan and Glasgow. Now, the average is right around 60 degrees. The record set back in 1934 when it was 85 degrees. That was also the year that Bonnie and Clyde met their demise. Currently, temperatures 51 in Lewistown, 49 in Great Falls, as well as Havre, 65 in Billings, 53 in Jordan, out towards Butte, 50 degrees. And we've been talking about our winds pretty much every day for the past week, and it's continuing. We saw 49-mile-per-hour winds in both the Electric and capital cities. Not quite as strong, though, as our friends down towards Billings, where we saw almost 60-mile-per-hour winds gusting, 30 in Kalispell and 24 in Havre. Now, even though a lot of us didn't see the rain, I felt a few raindrops last night, even though we didn't pick up not even a trace here, which is kind of sad. But in Lewistown, 200ths of an inch of rain up towards Cut Bank, 500ths. And looks like Missoula, you guys got lucky with 1/4 of an inch of rain almost, and 4/10 of an inch up towards Kalispell. And we're going to have definitely several chances through the next 7 days of having that chance for some actual amounts. Now, we are looking at a few snow showers right now along the Continental Divide that are they're having a hard time getting past that. We should start to see everything break apart and quiet down as we head throughout the next several hours. Winter weather advisory, though, for those along the Rocky Mountain front, including our friends in Helena, seeing the possibility for 1 to 3 inches of snow possible, and also winds gusting up to 35 miles an hour. So definitely going to create some problems out on the roads. Make sure you're taking things slowly out there and preparing ahead. This winter weather advisory will lift tomorrow at noon. Now, as we go throughout the next several days, we're going to continue to see the winds peak, and here's why. First up, by 6 a.m. in the morning, even though we do clear out tonight, clouds will build back in, looking at some possible mountain snow showers by early morning. Then the rain, here comes the rain by noon. This is all thanks to a warm front that's going to lift up towards our friends in Lewistown by around 5:30 tomorrow. Low pressure will allow for us to continue to see that chance for rain. Also, our winds will be picking up too. And then by Wednesday morning, some of us are going to be able to get in on a little bit of snow too. But again, I say that lightly because it's going to probably be for those that are at or above 5,000 feet in elevation. As far as how much rain we could be getting, though, from now through Wednesday at around 5:30 in the morning, I mean, we could be looking here in Great Falls over 1/10 of an inch of rain, and we desperately need that. Over 2/10 possible in Helena as well as Butte. Out towards Lewistown, just shy of 2/10, and around 1,500 in Havre as well as Jordan. Tomorrow will be a very windy day. 30 to 40, sometimes 50-mile-per-hour winds will be possible for us, especially around 7 p.m., all thanks to that low pressure making its way through the area. So heads up tomorrow, chances for rain likely, as well as our windy conditions. 36 degrees tonight in Great Falls, 33 in Lewistown, 30 in Hayes, and 33 in Glasgow. We will look at our tomorrow's highs, below average, 57 in both Great Falls as well as Helena, and 52 in Lewistown. Tomorrow, 70% chance of showers by Wednesday, 60%. We will see the chance for possible snow late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, but again, little to no snow accumulation possible. Back to you.
All right, she's back by popular demand. Tom's loyal assistant, Cece. And Tom will have your game changers next. Stay with us.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Despite all the cancellations, postponements, and quarantines, the high school football season has reached the final week of the regular season for some classifications.
To celebrate, Tom Wiley brings back his co-anchor Cece for this week's Game Changers.
Hey everybody, folks keep asking me why Cece's not doing Game Changers with me as much anymore. I'm going to show you. She is not very good at sitting still anymore. As soon as she started walking, she was on the go, and that's very similar to our Montana high school football teams. They're not sitting still, resting on their laurels. They are moving forward towards the postseason and putting forth some of the best plays we've seen all year long.
At number 5, CMR hosting Gallatin for homecoming. Caden Doran had a night. Check out the diving interception, one of 2 picks for the sophomore on the game. Helps the Rustlers overcome a halftime deficit for a 42-21 win. At number 4, Helena and Glacier in a battle of undefeated teams. Caden Hewitt locked in. It's Rafe Miller on the 50-yard bomb. Miller makes a few defenders just look silly here. 4 touchdowns for Hewitt. Helena wins 34-14. At number 3, Helena Capital at Missoula Big Sky. This one was sent into us. Tommy Carter had a game. Watch this catch. Tipped by 2 defenders, and he still comes down with a touchdown in the end zone. Bruins earn a big win, 28-12. Big Sandy hosting unbeaten Power Dutton Brady. This is how Cade Struts opened the game. No one to pass to, so he takes off himself, hurdles 1 defender, hurdles another defender, breaks a tackle, and he is off for a 45-yard score. Big Sandy clinches a division title, 46-29. At number 1, Joliet and Park City. This is Rye Brostrup, and he is just stronger than the entire Park City coverage team. Somehow stays on his feet and turns on the Jets with no one in front of him. Joliet, though, drops its first game of the season, 46-42.
Now, we can't always get to games and get all the best plays of the week. That's where you come in. Please send them to us, the Montana Sports Facebook or Instagram accounts. We will consider them, try to use them for game changers each week. Reporting from Great Falls, Tom Wiley, MTN Sports. Better go get this baby.
And don't go away. We'll be right back.
Tonight, temperatures falling down to 36 in Great Falls as well as Helena. A lot cooler, though, in Havre, where we will be dipping down to freezing temperatures, as well as our friends in Cutbank. And tomorrow, 57 degrees in Great Falls, 51 in Havre, 59 in Helena. We will be looking at a breezy next couple of days. Also, rain likely tomorrow in the afternoon, so have those umbrellas with you. Could be looking at over 1/10 of an inch of rain before everything is said and done. Wednesday, 60% chance of rain and snow possible late.
Well, a young girl is on a mission to help animal shelters across the country, including right here in Great Falls. Since March, 13-year-old Avi Sontheimer has used a GoFundMe account to raise money to buy gift cards for shelters. She just sent a gift card to the McLean Cameron Animal Adoption Center.
So far, she sent out gift cards to over 900 shelters. She includes a letter explaining who she is, what she's doing. Her dream is to become a vet tech or own her own shelter when she grows up. I would love that too.
Yeah,
you can find out a link to the GoFundMe account on our website. I would just be taking all the animals home.
That's true. She'll probably be a good vet someday.
That's the problem.
She'll probably make a great vet someday.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have. See you back here at 10.